All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome, Star Family, true sidereal family. Welcome, everybody. It's always a pleasure to see everyone here in the chat, getting involved, asking questions. Makes me very happy to see all of us here. Happy Mother's Day. If you have a mother out there or someone you do consider your mother, make sure you give her a big hug and a big kiss. Not easy being a mother, and one time a year we get to share our gratitude for that. But I hope you all are well, having a great Sunday. Going through the chat here, we'll go ahead and start by welcoming everybody. So Erica Alexandria, great to see you as always. So Erica says, hello cosmic friends, rainy day outside. Sinners, which was a movie Erica mentioned last time, great movie. It's similar to From Dusk Till Dawn. Wow, that was a really intense movie, at least when I watched it. I mean, I was quite young when I watched it. I was a kid, but and I remember that movie actually really stuck with me for a long time. But Sinners dives deeper into themes of oppression and cultural assimilation. All right, interesting. So maybe I'll take a look at that. I'm always looking for good movies out there. Eric also says Sinners movie deals with racism, cultural assimilation, and blues music in the U.S. Deep South area, Jim Crow era Mississippi. Worth the watch and reading more about it in libraries. All right, cool. Thanks for the recommendation there, Erica. Have Bliss, great to see you. Hi Souls says Have Bliss. Manda, great to see you always. Manda has a question here. Hi Athen and everyone. When you get questions wondering how Pluto in Capricorn opposite natal Pluto in Cancer may be. It's my mother's placement right now. Thanks. All right. Well, what we could do is we could do a little bit of Pluto generational stuff. That's always fun. Figure out where your Pluto is. In fact, let's go and do that today. It's always an exciting experiment and exercise. We just had Pluto enter Capricorn, so we can all get some value from this. So for those of you in front of a computer, well, I guess most of you are, or if it's easy for you, I should say, to pull up your chart. Go ahead and pull up your chart if you don't know your Pluto sign. So find out what your Pluto sign is. It's probably going to be, from Cancer, either Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Fucus, Sagittarius, maybe. But that's basically where Pluto's been in these, these generations of those that are alive today. So find out exactly what sign that is. Pluto is the symbol. How do you describe Pluto? It would be that there's a half circle on the top with a circle in the middle, and then the normal cross on the bottom. It's sort of a beige color in the chart calculator. But find out where your Pluto sign is, and we'll go through all of them. There's not that many, so we'll go through them, and we'll get more information on that. When we do that, Manda, hopefully we'll start off with yours, Pluto and Cancer there for your mom, and we'll get some insight on that. Amanda says, happy Mother's Day to all moms out there. April Moore, great to see you. Greetings, True Sky friends. Blessings for Mother's Day. Karmic Kerfuffle, great to see you always. Hello, I'm back after being gone for a while due to health reasons. Well, I hope you're feeling better. It's always great to have you here, Karmic. But yeah, I hope you are feeling better if those health reasons were challenging. Woody, great to see you, old-time friend. Woody says, hello, everyone. The rain has finally stopped in New Hampshire, and the sun is shining brilliantly. Still cool, however. Yeah, that's how it is for me, too. Very sunny, but still quite cool, actually, for me, surprisingly. Usually we get a much sooner spring than this, but it is definitely nice to get the sun. I'm happy that you're getting that sun, too, Woody. Pamela, thanks for joining us. So I was asking about the full moon energy, and if you're feeling the full moon energy, because we do have a full moon tomorrow. Most of us will typically feel the full moon about a few days before, a few days after, and so it's always great to discuss how we're each feeling the energy. But in that context, Pamela says started feeling the Libra full moon a few days ago, and so yeah, very happy to hear that. We'll talk a little bit about this too, but really the halfway point of the lunar cycle. Time of doing a status check. And now with Libra, it's about how are things in balance or how are things not in balance in our life, right? How can we bring things back into balance right now? Usually when we're at this halfway point of the Libra cycle, it means that 6 months ago we started to bring more balance into our life when it was Libra season. Now it's a status check with that 6 months later. How are things going in that department? Now balance, of course, deals a lot with interpersonal stuff too, relationships, matters of ethics, morality, partnerships, things of this nature. So these will likely get illuminated also. But really good these next few days to do a status check and see, again, in personal areas, personal life, bringing things back into balance, and perhaps starting to cultivate some more relational energy or more balance there for the next 6 months as well. But at least for the next 2 weeks, we're at the heightened energy now of the lunar month. It's definitely a much more active lunar cycle than the last couple have been in Pisces. We still have a little bit of Pisces energy to work with. We're not totally out of Pisces season yet. We still have Venus who needs to leave there. Mercury's just recently gotten closer to Aries, so there's likely a big shift now going into next week with that. The sun will go into Taurus, though, keeping everything nice and grounded. Okay, but the fire is still very much mixed with the water, not only because Venus is in Pisces. Pisces is that very spiritual, soul-guided, and etheric energy we've been working with these past couple months. And really, Venus is what we're connecting to. So we're definitely still able, and it's good to connect to that world, that realm. But Mars is in Cancer. And so when we are talking about this whole lunar cycle being really what started in Aries and Mercury, and right now the Mercury and the Sun are in Aries, that's a very fiery, proactive energy. But the ruler of that Mars is in watery Cancer. So when it does come to that fiery nature, it's really a time of connecting more to our feelings right now, hopefully connecting to our protector side in the sense of being caring and nurturing for ourselves and others. But as you can see, it's not the easiest energy for this to express. Mars is not very comfortable here in Cancer, and so it definitely dampens down that fiery energy. But Mars will go into Leo early next week, around Tuesday of next week, and then that's going to be a big shift too, because Mars is much more comfortable in Leo, where he's going, than where he's been in Cancer for a very long time, because we had Mars retrograde. So it's been over 6 months, I believe, with Cancer activated. Mars did dip out of Cancer and went into Gemini for a few months there, but for a long time it's been Mars in Cancer. So that's really the general energy right now. Again, really centered around this full moon, though, balancing a lot of that fiery energy with balance. Our needs, others' needs, our goals, and what we want balanced with other things in life, other than just our goals and actions and things like that. So that's how I classify this full moon. Really good time for that sort of status check. Aquarius Sky Clock, thanks for joining. Evening from sunny Northumberland. Great to see you always, Aquarius. Thank you so much. Kara, have a great day and week ahead, everyone. Thank you, Kara. Or is it Kara? Felicity, great to see you. Hi, Athen, says Felicity. When do the nodes move? So what did we say? It was September, I believe. There was a live stream where we looked into this, but let's go and pull it up again. So they're going to shift at different times because, somewhat similar times, but we're using the uneven size of the constellations, so they do shift at different times here. Let me go ahead and set this to Aries to make it easier to see. All right, so we're looking to see when the North Node will go into Aquarius and when the South Node will go into Leo. So the first one will be the South Node into Leo, and that's actually in June. Just next month, mid-month, probably late month by the time we feel it. So about a month and a half from now. And then July for the North Node. Late July, the North Node will go into Aquarius. So June and July, they shift sign. And this is very important. We've had really roughly 2 years of this Virgo Pisces nodes. The South Node in Virgo, the North Node in Pisces. South Node in Virgo is working out karmically things like work, improvements, perfection. Basically, the neurotic energies of life have been karmically being released so that they can be worked on more healthfully and constructively. And the North Node in Pisces has been helping us then prioritize things like our mental health, spiritual health, doing things that are more soul-fulfilling in life. It's been very important to move into that world. So as you can see, both of these are very much about personal development. They're very much about health, and generally they're challenging energies to work with. So if you felt that the past couple years, and this is now the ending of that, June, July, we'll give it till the end of July, this final having resolved all the karma with the neurotic side, having developed more of the peace and spiritual health side, and then we can move on to other things. And so those other things will be the South Node in Leo and the North Node in Aquarius. And that'll be really good for resolving karma actually with self-expression. So we'll surprisingly be quite active with self-expression, maybe hobbies, interests, things like this, quite activated. But that the key to a lot of that will be to put energy towards contribution, whether it's our communities, the world, the future, maybe our own aspirations. So coming up here, second half of this year and through all of next year, it'll be really good to be proactive and put energy towards contribution, innovation, technology, community, friends, networking, getting into that more future visionary and contributing side that Aquarius will help us work with. And that's basically saying that whatever's going on karmically with self-expression, love, playfulness, there could be definitely gifts coming in there with the South Node in Leo. The key to all those things is actually found in contribution. And that makes a lot of sense, right? If we want to find out what our passion is, we usually find it through contributing to something greater than ourselves, right? It's typically where we find our passion. Connecting to love, usually the best thing for love is to focus on doing things that are more like friends, connecting with community, doing things with other people, joining others, having fun that way, and expressing love and playfulness that way through community and through things greater than ourselves. So that's really going to be the main theme coming up here with the nodes shifting. Great for you to point that out. Great for that question there, Felicity. Thank you so much. Aya, great to see you. Hey, Athen, could you explain how the South Node transiting the 10th house may impact one? Does this mean the career area of one's life goes inactive, or does it stay active with the South Node on that point? So basically what we just said here, you would say that, okay, the South Node in the 10th means that, it's good to allow more of the career stuff and the productive stuff to happen more automatically, right? You'll probably find during this period that if you're putting effort towards your career or achievement, it might drain you, you might get stuck, you might get stagnant. So while your productive life is going on, that's the South Node, it's good to be involved with those things, focusing on the personal, focusing on that North Node in the 4th house, which will be being proactive with personal life, with home, with family, things like that. So that's how we want to always work with all of our nodes. The South Node is where we should be more yin, the North Node where we can be more yang, and this really helps us tremendously. Margaret, thanks so much for the link. So Margaret pasted the chart calculator if you want to find your Pluto sign, because we're about to get into all of the different Pluto signs. And everyone give a shout out to Margaret for moderating. Thank you so much for moderating, Margaret. Matt, great to see you. For me, Pluto exactly on the cusp between Libra and Scorpio. Okay, when we talk about those, look at both of them, both the Libra and Scorpio side. Aya says the full moon on Monday will be conjunct my natal Pluto in Libra, 12th house. I'm scared, LOL. Yeah, nothing to be scared about, obviously, and we have this, if everyone has this every year at some point. But there, illuminating spirituality, mental health, spiritual health, will be very important. Bringing balance back to your mental health and spiritual health can be very helpful there. Aquarius Sky Clock, my Pluto is 3 degrees before my ascendant in Virgo. All right, so we'll read the Virgo energy for you there. Erica, also Pluto Virgo. All right, so let's go and look at that, and then we'll finish up with some of these other questions. So, all right, Pluto placements. Let's see. So first things first. Let's go to the dates for Pluto in Cancer. We'll start there. So this is Pluto, by the way. This planet here, this beige color. And we're now animating by year, and you can see Pluto is moving. And maybe we can blow this up a little bit more so you can see it even easier. Let's see if this is any better. And then let's zoom in. Let's really zoom in here. All right. So here's Pluto, this beige color. We're now cycling back through the years. We're going to go back to when Pluto was in Cancer. Let's just do that. There we go. This beige planet here, Pluto. We're going all the way back. Let's get the dates. Let's get the dates. I don't have all the Pluto dates memorized. They're very generational. They're the most generational planet that we look at. Not as long as a generation in terms of modern day generations, but still many years. So 1934-ish, around there, Pluto entered Cancer. So we're looking now if you were born. I actually didn't even need to know. I don't know why I had everyone look up their Pluto signs. All you need is your birth date, of course. But anyways, you can, if you did pull it up, you can see the house, and the house will tell you more about that. But anyways, from 1934 to we're going to say 1949, right there on the cusp there, Pluto in Cancer. So this is a generational energy of really collective transformation around security. Okay, so this is obviously, World War II and coming out of World War II. So there was a lot of destruction with homes, with personal life, with family. Of course, we're not just talking about in Europe, but really collectively, this was a time of transforming the personal life and the home life and what we consider themes around security and having more security in life. So that energy that was going on collectively, we're all going to take with us when we were born during that era, right? So here, for those with Pluto and Cancer, really good to do that, to be willing to dive deep into matters of security, be willing to uncover deep emotions, feelings, the past, in order to transform oneself. Also see where where power might be given away to external things, because really true security comes from within. True security comes from within there. And so right now it's important because Pluto's entering Capricorn, and Pluto now opposite that really balances these, right? Because collectively right now, Pluto and Capricorn's about empowerment with changing more societal stuff. So not personal, not home, but more like government structures, systems, when we're talking collectively like this, and in our own lives, our businesses, or our careers and things like this. So this is a really important time for those with Pluto and Cancer, because we want to balance this out. How can we continue to, work on our security? But at this point, with it being so long now, since we were born, very long life. Now, how can we integrate these collective, or let's say these structural changes that Pluto and Capricorn's helping us do, right? Maybe looking at our legacy. What are we able to leave behind? Also seeing, perhaps being involved with the collective changes that are going on, and seeing that, yes, things like working hard and achievement and accomplishment are important, but we need to, of course, always balance that out with the Cancer, caring, nurturing. Remember to care and nurture for ourselves. And I'll tell you what, those with Pluto and Cancer can teach us all a lot right now, because while we're all going through these more structural changes with, again, the systems and structures personally and collectively, it's really the Cancer that's going to balance this out. So it's really important for all of us to be connecting to our intrinsic world, our personal life, and connecting to our feelings and deep stuff there. See what's really deeply important to us, see what's really deeply meaningful to us, because what's the point of going out and doing career and achievement and all these changes if it's not coming from a place that's really important to us personally and emotionally, and we really can't even do that stuff if we're not connected to some element of security. And like I said, with Pluto in Cancer, I think it's fundamentally about the fact that security comes from within. All right, so a lot of you out there will have this one. So this is Pluto in Leo, and so this is from 1948-ish. And I say ish because the planets, go retrograde, and so they kind of bounce in and out for a little bit, to 1969. Okay, so this is the 60s energy, right? This is the whole revolution of the 60s, because Leo is about self-expression. Leo's about art, creativity. We saw the birth of rock and roll throughout this period. So this was a collective transformation to self-expression. So if you're born during this time, you're holding this frequency for the world, for the future, to express yourself and to empower yourself through that self-expression, whether it's your hobbies, your interests, your creative outlets. It doesn't really matter. As long as you're expressing yourself, it can be very empowering. But of course, with that likely comes fears, inhibitions, doubts about expressing yourself. So again, realizing that it's not so much about the external when it comes to that self-expression as much as it's about the internal, right? The mere act of expressing yourself and that really healing and transformative energy that produces. All right, so Pluto in Virgo from from 1969-ish all the way until 1989-ish. Okay, so I'm in this camp here. This period here, transformation through work and service. Okay, so here Virgo's about work, service, routines, building things, structuring things, automating things. Basically, being a facilitator is what Virgo's all about. So this is the, let's say, generation of facilitation. All right, so we're here to, through our day-to-day lives, our work, our service, to really, make these sort of societal changes. But the way that we really feel this is that we'll likely have these inhibitions. There could be definitely the darker, uglier side of this, right? Neurosis, too neurotic, what's the word? Neurotic with certain things, too OCD, too obsessed perhaps, getting too much into the details, trying to make things perfect. These are all the kind of shadow side that Pluto can bring up. So again, not getting too caught up into the external perfection, not getting too caught up into the, attachment to the outside world, structure, work, whatever it is. And instead realizing that this actually all comes from within, and that's actually the refined self, the self that's striving towards improvement and personal development and refining, in which this all comes from. So really connecting to that inner power, seeing where we might be giving our power away to work, service, perfection, and instead see that all of this refinement really comes from within. And striving towards things like personal development, health, helping others, develop. These are all, these kind of more core internal ways that can be very satiating for those with Pluto in Virgo. All right, so Pluto in Libra, this is going to be 1989 until 1996-ish, 89-ish to 96-ish. So this is transformation usually through, I don't want to just say relationships, because it's really about transformation through interacting with other. And so it might be partnerships, relationships become very transformative and catalyzing events in our life with this placement, but really just how we're interacting with other. So it's really the generation of morality, ethics, doing the right thing, and really bringing things back into balance. It's so really good to see how things are out of balance in life, personally and collectively, and readjust these balances. The challenge with this is, of course, then seeing the shadow side of other and relationship. And again, there could be fears, insecurities, doubts, inhibitions about this stuff. But again, as we then connect, as we then share, as we do what's moral, right, just, right, then it empowers us. And so we want to make sure we're not getting too caught up or too attached to themes around justice and morality and ethics and relationships, but instead seeing it as a great opportunity to really connect to these things on a deeper level and really, have this willingness to bring things back into balance without being too attached to them. And that perhaps the most important thing in all of this is to really find the balance within. And, living our own life internally in terms of what we feel is right and balanced and just. And as a result, will naturally help transform society to be more positively involving relationships and partnerships and other people. Pluto in Scorpio and Ophiuchus. So this is going to be 1996-ish all the way until 2007-ish. We'll go and end it here, actually. This is, I think, far enough for everyone listening today. So this is the, very powerful Pluto and Scorpio. Scorpio is Pluto's sign, Ophiuchus as well. This is the generation of really transformation and change. I mean, there's no other way to really put that. Pluto in his home sign is just really going to make this what this is about. So this is really about diving deep, uncovering deep things, healing as well, especially if anyone listening was born between 2002 to that 2007-ish. Very much healers here collectively, or maybe you have, some kids or know some people in this generation. Anyways, they're going to make very, I think, powerful changes collectively. It's really good for them to dive deep with things, uncover the deeper world, the esoteric, the hidden, research all this, to confront the shadow side of life just in general, and again, to heal and transform this stuff. So very empowering, very transformative. And if you know anyone who's born, 2000, the later part of this, like 2005 to 2007, 2005 to 2008, I would say, they have that Pluto really close to the galactic center, very much about this, what I call Christ consciousness energy, which is really it's a great opportunity. I mean, for all of this whole generation, it's this, but especially this little, these few years here, really about acceptance and redemption, really accepting and redeeming the deeper shadow aspects of life, and then working with it. And working with it is extremely powerful. All right, so I wanted to do that. It's always a fun exercise to go through the Pluto placements, as we can all know people who are in certain Pluto placements, and of course it helps us personally and collectively as well. All right, so we'll go ahead and wrap up here, just answering the last few questions, and then we'll go ahead and close this out. So Nova says, my daughter's body's embodiment, as well as our Mother Earth. And my daughter's body's embodiment, as well as our Mother Earth. I'm sorry, I didn't look at the other one. Before that, Nova said, I am a mother. Who else is a mother here today? Deeper reflections on embodiment with my body, my mother's body, and bringing life into this world. Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, Nova. And yes, a big shout out to all of you mothers out there. So Woody mentioned he's a Pluto and Leo. So hopefully what I just mentioned there, Woody, was helpful. That is the rock and roll, self-expression, freedom-loving generation. That's always, again, very important. And you guys are bringing that into society, helping us all express ourselves, do what we love, create with things. And hopefully that helps with working with that too. Felicity, thank you, Athen, to explain the North and South nodes. You're very welcome. Amanda, Pluto and Leo on Virgo cusp, so you'll be a little bit of both there. All right, so we'll go ahead and conclude this. And the retrograde side, Mary Jane, is it's more internalized. So everyone has a 50-50 chance of having Pluto retrograde. And so it's not very personal if Pluto's retrograde, but if Pluto is retrograde, a lot of what we just talked about will be more internal. So a lot of that internal stuff we're talking about, diving deep within oneself, inner psychology, inner work, is particularly important for the Pluto retrogrades, versus if Pluto's direct, maybe we're talking more of the outer world, societal kind of stuff. All right, so everyone have a fantastic week. Thank you so much for joining. And I'll see you all next week at the usual time. All right, take care. See you all then. Bye-bye.